Hi everyone, Lee Magpie here, and today I've got something else Jurassic World related. The UK's done quite well for getting some actual new toys coming up, so I hope they keep it up. And today we've got the new Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Dino Escapes Raw Attack Ankylosaurus / Bumpy. Obviously this is the grown-up version of Bumpy, and I have to say I'm really excited to get this out the packaging because I really loved Bumpy in the Camp Cretaceous series, which was actually it's been a really good series. This is a Rarivar, but it's done a little bit different compared to the previous Rarivars, and it says this is a Raw Attack. And as you can see, it's got 3 different sections of an action feature, which is to do with this button, which we'll check that out at the when we get it out on the packaging. And it just shows you like maybe the way the tail swiping action must get a little bit more like faster with each time you click the switch up. And then it also shows you that there's 3 levels of sound which goes with the tail swiping action as you're doing the button. And obviously at the top here it says that it comes with sounds. The sculpt is a little bit different to the previous Ankylosauruses, so I will do a comparison with them. And I don't think there's lots been changed, but I think the head's definitely been changed. And I've got a little Bumpy as well to do a comparison with as well. But the overall packaging looks really good. The Dino Escapes logo looks really nice. I even like this little bit of green outline in here. I really like the logos of the tail swiping action there. And the packaging has got this breaking through the fence kind of effect going on, with this really nice sunset, which goes into like a light blue, and then it goes into this really nice sunset orange with some really nice mountain detailing and trees in the background, the broken fence as well. And we'll talk about the button as well, because a lot of people don't really like the buttons. But yeah, and then we've got one of the characters from Camp Cretaceous. We've got, I forgot his name now because he's actually got a different name compared. And yeah, so this is the side of the logo. It's a little bit different. It's in like this green. It's usually in black, but it's got a bit of green in the background, and it fades into the little bit of black here. It says Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, and I really like the wood effect of it all. And it is the back of the box. And it just shows you the Ankylosaurus looking really cool here. And it's showing you its tail swiping action. And obviously it's in 3 stages. And it looks really cool. It's obviously compatible with the Jurassic World Facts app, which I always show you the scan code during the review. So you can pause away and scan away into the Jurassic World Facts app. And here is 2 of the other available figures. Now, these 2, I saw them in Smyths today. Oh, and by the way, they're in the UK now. And they retail for £20. So I will link it in the description box down below. But the reason why I didn't get these 2 is because we haven't had an Ankylosaurus for a while. And it's to do with Camp Cretaceous. And it's Bumpy grown up. So I really wanted to get Bumpy first, and then reviews of these 2 maybe on YouTube if and when I can get my hands on them. I did see them, but I didn't want to buy all 3 all at once. But these 2 did look really cool. But we've all seen a lot of Baryonyxes. There's only been maybe 2 or 3 versions of this one, but they've all been similar colours, so I didn't really want to get that one either. And because we all love Bumpy, and I wanted to really see it in like a grown-up form, adult form, so that's why I got this one now. But if they come, they'll be either on my YouTube soon, or they'll be on my Instagram, which is Liam_Magpie. So yeah, follow me on there because I do lots of Jurassic World content of reviews, what's coming up, photography, updates of new toys what are coming out. So if you love Jurassic World toys or just general toys in general, please follow me on Instagram. But yeah, this is the back of the packaging. They're going for this kind of greenish coloured vibe as well, I've noticed. And I'm really digging the new packaging. Oh, and this is the side of the packaging. I never noticed this before. But here is two of the other characters. We've got a picture of Blue as well. And then the Dino Escapes logo looks really nice, with the Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous with a few bits of trees in the background. I never noticed that before, but that's actually quite a nice picture. If I'm honest, I didn't like her in the series. I liked all the other characters, but she was my least favourite. So don't come for me on Instagram and start screaming at me because it's just my opinion. But overall, I still really loved the series, and it makes so much sense for him to be on the front of the packaging because he's Bumpy's best buddy, basically. So, yeah, like I said, it retails for £20. And there isn't much more I can say. Like I said, I'm going to link it in the description box down below. I've got some comparisons. I can't wait to figure out how all this works. I did try it in the shop once, but I didn't really process it properly because I was like excited. So without further ado, I'm going to get the Ankylosaurus Bumpy out of the packaging. So everyone, I've got adult Bumpy out of the packaging. My overall thoughts on the figure overall is it looks really nice. The sculpt's done really nice, and these are a few different changes, which I'll show you that when I do a comparison. But here is Bumpy's face up close. As you can see, the head is a little bit different. It's a little bit bigger, which I'll show you that, and obviously it's got the famous broken horn at the top, so I think it's really nice that they've added that. The head is a little bit of a different type of blue to the body, and it does literally look like it's from Camp Cretaceous itself. It's really good, other than they've not added all the shading and definition, but they've added the coloured scheme alone does look like Bumpy really, really well. And yeah, it's got these little bits of speckles of this like browny greeny colour, yellowish colour coming through the top of the head, with this nice sky blue colour with some bits of texturing and nice sculpting on the top. And here is the face sculpt up close. I looked at all of the eyes in the shop because every time I'm in the shop I go through every single one of them just to get the one with the best eyes, and this one seems to have the best eyes. I like the sculpting around the side horns on its face there with these nice little grooves and ridges inside, and then the eye is nicely done in this nice brown colour. And the beak is nicely done as well. And then this is the other eye. Some of the eyes was a little bit off, to be honest, in the shop. But this one was good. I love the sculpting around the face, and the texturing's really nicely done. I think Mattel always do a nice job. And this is the plate at the top. I'm going to call this like his shell or it's like armour. Sometimes I call it like a plate. I don't know why I call it a plate, but I just do. And the sculpting of the, well, little horns or humps and bumps are really nicely done. Quite similar to what we've already got from the previous Ankylosauruses. And then these sad ones are this soft material, as you can see, it kind of parts. If that bothers you, I would maybe put maybe a bit of glue and just put that there, but it don't gap anywhere when you don't bend them. But they've done that for like safety reasons. I think it's so they're not too sharp, because these toys are for 4 and plus. And yeah, I love the armour. It's really nicely done as well. And these nice grooves are nicely done as well. And yeah, so these bits are hard and then these bits are soft. I love its little broken horn, how it's just like snapped off there. It just looks really nice. Nice added bit of detail. And then the club has got this little bit of like orangey, like a sandy yellow colour at the end, and then it fades into this cream grey colour, which is the similar colour to the horns, the spikes on its back and on his head, or his head. And what else I really love about the figure overall is I really like the details of the speckles on the legs. So it's got this nice speckling of blue underneath, what goes around the legs here and then goes up to the sides of its stomach, and then down the sides of the leg here. And it's just got nice little bits of texturing on the leg. It kind of feels a little bit heavier than the other one. Now we're going to address what people don't like about these figures, and this is the button. So the button still blends. It's still been sculpted to go with the so it matches the the figure itself. But when you put it onto the side here, you can see the yellow underneath. So it would have been nicer if they could just match this little bit of bluey green colour what's on the armour to match that, so it doesn't look too bad. But when you lift it up like that, it doesn't look too bad. To me, personally, it doesn't bother me that much. It is kind of a little bit of an eyesore, but it's not too bad overall. If they did where the button wasn't even sculpted to the texturing to the figure itself, then I would have been a bit like, that is a bit lazy. And yeah, I know that one of them has got a switch on the side, but I think because that is quite a large figure, I think they've had to either put it on the side, or they could have put it underneath the belly, but it could have been a bit awkward to try and manoeuvre that to click and do its sounds, or the action feature. But yeah, I don't think it's too bad, but I can see why people are a little bit annoyed. But I think Mattel's just trying to switch these up, literally switch them up. Because they've always just had the one button to make the noise, but they've tried to add the action feature and the noises together. So it's whatever you want to, it's however you want to look at it. If I had to be honest, I'd give it like 50-50, because it don't bother me, but it does bother me, and I can see what everyone's, why everyone's a bit upset about it. But yeah, I really like the sculpting of the tail as well. And what I've noticed with this one is they've actually painted the side little horns in grey. I don't think they painted the horns on the previous ones. Horns or spikes, whatever you want to call it. I love the texturing of the tail itself. And then this blue overall scatters on the other side as well. And if you are doing the Jurassic World Facts app, then there is the scan code there. So pause away and scan away. Just give that a sec. And then underneath, as you can see, it's got the speaker. And then obviously you unscrew this, and you can change the batteries. But this is the underneath of the colour as well. It's this sand yellow colour. And yeah, it's really good. I think it looks really nice as a figure, and it kind of feels a little bit heavier. And the articulation is, it can lift its head that far up, so it can't really like lift it up, but it can lift it can go down that far. It can go side to side, it can turn side to side, it can pretty much just go all the way around, which looks quite funny. But yeah, it's got some really nice motion in the head overall. The face sculpt is really nice. I think they've done a good job on making it look like Bumpy from the series. And you can move the legs back and forth, and it's actually got articulation to move the thighs in and out. It's hard to show, but you can do it. And then the same goes for this one. You can move the legs back and forth like that, and move the thighs in and out. You can't move the tail however you want. It will just sling back like that. And now I'm going to show you the action feature and the sound effects. I'm sorry for the camera wobbling then. So if I move the action feature and the button that way. Oh, so that, yeah, I get it now. So you can move it up like that. So it don't really do like a tail movement. Don't really do a tail movement on the first one. It sounds really nice. Oh, and it does like it does a big swipe when you do it, so like that. But the sounds sound really nice. I don't think it's mega effective, but I think it is quite fun. But yeah, that sounds... I'll just do the sounds individually. Oh, that sounds quite good actually. And then you just push the button back like that, or you can have it forward like that. But I think I'm going to have it back like that. And its tail will stay straight. Now, if you move it that way, it'll stay that way. And if you have it that way, it'll do it that way. So, if you was doing photography and you wanted its tail to move that way, and you wanted it that way or that way, you would have to have it. You'd have to have the button a certain way. So yeah, you'd have to have the button a certain way for you to do a certain picture, which is kind of clever in a way, because it's giving you an action feature, it's giving you sounds, and it's even giving you option. So you can kind of actually move the tail. I know you can't move it like that and articulate it how you want. I know you can't move the tail however you want, but you cannot. It does give you the option if you go by the button, which I think is kind of clever actually. But yeah, I think it's a bit different for Mattel to do something like this, but they'll give you 3 options so you don't lose out on the articulation to move the tail however you want, in a nutshell. Literally, it's shell. And yeah, I'm going to do a quick comparison with some others, but first I'm going to show you Bumpy. So Bumpy is here, and I've just noticed as well, Bumpy has a different type of blue to its armour on its back here, and here is a size comparison, which I think is so cute. These two stood together look really cute. And she's got really big brown eyes. Absolutely adorable. And these two would look really cool in a photography photo, or just to stand there looking cool on your shelves. And this one's got like this colour which it's missing on here. And yeah, even they've added a little bit of articulation on this small one, which I think is nice that they've done that. And the size comparison's quite good. So now I'm going to show you a size comparison with, and a comparison with one of the other Ankylosauruses we've had. And this is the green and orange one. And then we've got the very first one we got, which is here. So I'm going to go by this one because they're kind of similar in colours. Well, they're not, but they've got like greens, a bit of green in each of them. So this is comparison. So if I was to lift up the shells, as you can, well, I keep calling it shells. I've called it all different things on there. They actually haven't changed that much in sculpt-wise. If I stand them up against the wall like that and put the camera up, it shows you that the armour, shall we say, is actually the same length and the same width. Obviously, they've done the buttons here, and they've sculpted the buttons and put these horns, these spikes, sorry, to go with the button. You can see the button quite bad here. It would have been kind of good if they put maybe one of these spikes on the button, so it wouldn't look so, what's the word, like an eyesore kind of thing. But I still don't think it looks real bad. I think that it ain't awful. I think what Mattel's done is they've just tried to give us a different, something new, so they're not always the same. But if they just added like a spike on there, I think that would have looked a little bit better. But I don't hate this figure at all. I think if that was the only thing I could point out, I'd give it a 9 out of 10 for the full figure. Because sculpt-wise, they're pretty much the same. The clubs on the tails, they're pretty much the same size. I don't think any of them are, I don't think one's bigger than the other. The sculpted pretty much the same as well. The tails are pretty much the same, but they've just added a little bit more, I think, just a little bit more depth maybe in the details. And obviously this one's got like a swinging tail, and this one doesn't. Well, it does, but you can kind of, oh no, to be fair, look, I forgot that they actually added, it sounds a different, and this one's a bit more, this one's a bit more springier, as this one's more controlled. They weigh a little bit different. This one feels a little bit heavier, and as you can see, the head is a lot more bigger than the original one. And I actually like that the head's a little bit bigger, because when I very first saw these, I was blown away how good they was, but I always thought the head should have been a tiny little bit bigger. So I think that they should come out with maybe another colour of the Ankylosaurus. They don't have to have the broken horn. They could add the arm as normal if they wanted to, just because I think everyone won't like it if they just repainted Bumpy. So if they came out with another Ankylosaurus in another coloured scheme with the full horn on the head, then, and kept it to this scale size, a lot of people would really like this one. But yeah, the legs are pretty much the same. The feet are the same size as well. They've got the same articulation. They can move the thighs in and out. Even the underbellies are quite the same with the buttons. It's just that this one looks like it has that plastic what goes inside, like what you pull out so it can activate the sounds. And yeah, so the only thing what they've really changed is obviously the buttons and the size of the heads. And if I'm honest, I really like the size of the heads better on this one. But I really like the button on this one. The action feature works a little bit better for this one, because you can actually articulate the tail however you want. And as well as have an action feature. As with this one, you can't change the articulation on the tail unless you wedge something in it, so it can stay like that. But yeah, but in photography they're going to look absolutely amazing stood together. I'm going to show you this one as well. They all look really, really cool. But I don't think that they should come out with another colour of this one, and just add the full on, so you don't have to just call it Bumpy, because I don't think people would be very happy with that. And speaking of Bumpy, we've got the little cutie here. But yeah, that's it for the comparison. That's it for the size comparison as well. And that's it for this review. So I'm just going to put the... Oh, actually, I'll keep them in frame. But yeah, my overall thoughts on this figure is, if I had to give it a scale to 1 to 10, I would give it a 9 out of 10. Just because the button is a little bit of an eyesore. But I'm not mega fussed at it. I'm not mega mad at it. And I'm kind of glad that they still sculpted it. And sculpt-wise, well, it's just as good as these two. So I give that definitely a 10 out of 10. Articulation, 10 out of 10. The action feature is very clever because you still get the option to articulate the tail, as well as get sound effects from it, as well as getting an action feature out of it. So it's whatever you want to make it. I personally really like the figure. I give it a good 9 out of 10. And these two get a 10 out of 10. No, actually these two get 9 out of 10, because now that I've seen the size of the head on this one, that's what I'd change about that one. And on this one, I'd change the button on that one. So, and then nothing, I wouldn't change anything about Baby Bumpy. So yeah, I am done with this review. I hope you've liked this review. I hope you might see another light on the button, instead of just being like, I hate it, I ain't getting them, I don't like them because they're an eyesore. I won't give up on them just because of a little bit of a button change. They might go back to the old buttons, you never know. But I think Mattel's just trying to change it up a bit. And yeah, so I will link Adult Bumpy in the description box down below. It retails for £20. I will have some more Jurassic World stuff coming up soon. More toy related stuff coming up soon as well. Because I do a big mixed range of toys on my channel. So please like and subscribe. And there isn't much more I can say. So I will see you on the next one, guys. Bye.